In Lesson 1.5, we're going to look at the example, why should you get your diploma? In this example, we're going to compare distributions with histograms. Why should you get your diploma? Is it true that students who graduate from high school earn more money than students who do not graduate from high school? To find out, we took a random sample of 371 U.S. residents aged 18 and older from a recent census. The education level and total personal income of each person were recorded. Following are the relative frequency histograms of the data for 57 non-graduates labeled no, that's the upper histogram, and 314 graduates labeled yes. We're asked to compare the distributions. So what I'd like to point out to you is that these two histograms are on the same scales. On the x-axis, you see the total personal income, and on the y-axis, you see the percent going from 0 to 60 for each of them. So in order to compare the distributions, we first want to compare the shapes. So the shape of both of these distributions of personal income are skewed to the right and single-peaked. However, you can see that the graph for the graduates is strongly skewed to the right, more strongly skewed to the right. After describing the shape, what we want to look at is the center. The center of the distribution for graduates is slightly higher than for non-graduates, meaning that on average, the total personal income for the graduates is going to be a little bit higher than for the non-graduates in this sample. After describing shape and center, what we want to look at is the variability. So the incomes for graduates vary much more, from $0,000 to over $140,000, which is much more than the variability for the non-graduates. Last thing you want to look at is if there's any outliers. So there are some possible high outliers for people who did graduate. You can see them up here and you can see them separated by the gaps, whereas there's no possible outliers for people who did not graduate. For additional practice, please try exercise 9.